All right, amazing. So we are live on Facebook too. So everybody, this is our very special and bonus webinar with Publist founders, Ben and Will. And today we'll be talking about the most exciting upcoming feature there is, from my point of view, which is Publist AppSuite. Now, what is Publist AppSuite? These guys are just not another cloud storage. What they're building is like the centralized space where you can edit and do pretty much everything with what you need with your files. And to make it happen, they need to build some really useful apps. And we will be talking about these apps today. And also we'll be talking about the new add-on pack we introduced just a few days ago, which allows you to add more accounts to your profile and so on. So I will walk you through it in the end of the webinar. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask us here in a Zoom or in a Facebook chat, either on a watch party, Udit will start really soon in our Facebook group, or on our Facebook page. And I will make my best to monitor all the questions, so you will get answered. We will answer them in the end of the webinar. But now, without further ado, hey guys, what's cracking? How are you doing?
How's it going, everyone?
Hey guys.
Amazing. Unfortunately, we cannot see your beautiful faces today.
That's too bad.
Yeah, so unfortunately, everyone, we had a little camera issue, but hopefully we'll get that fixed by our webinar tomorrow.
All right, yeah, I believe so. All right, so I think we can jump right into it. So today it will be without your faces. Today it will be only screen sharing, but I think that's everything we need, right? So why don't we start again with a Publist press tour as yesterday, as the last time, to give us a little bit like insight into what we are building, what you are building, what you are trying to achieve. Just to go quickly through it, and then we'll jump directly into the Publist AppSuite.
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely. So for everybody who didn't hear yesterday, the Publist, the sort of driving problem behind Publist is that we have data in all these different silos. And so we've got data in our DocuSign, we've got data in Dropbox, we've got data in Slack, we've got data in Google Drive. We have data that sort of exists all around the cloud and in a lot of different clouds. And so
can you please make it full screen?
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll have to download.
Oh yeah, I'll have to download it. Let me grab that. So while that downloads, we've got silos of our data, and so it's as we move to the cloud, we sort of left a part of our desktops behind, which is really, really convenient, and that is just the ability to centralize and organize all our work in one place, and that we don't have any sort of equivalent for that in the cloud, and that's where Publist comes in. And so that's where we want to aim to be the place where you centralize all your files and all your work from across the cloud, as sort of the underlying desktop-like layer for your cloud. And so I guess we can look at some of the challenges. So with silos, it's just tough to move data around. Data is inconsistent. You have to use a lot of different interfaces, and it's disorganized by default. So that's inconvenient. And so again, this is what we aim to solve with Publist by taking what desktops already did so well, which is provide a central file system underlying all your work and all your applications, and bring that to the cloud. So what Publist really is it's just a central window into all your cloud files, and we aim to bridge your desktop data, your cloud data from all your apps, and behave like a universal file system. So any file that you own, you can have organized in Publist. You can get access to files in your apps from Publist. It connects to all your applications to then pull files into a central sort of cloud storage. And then you can view and manage those files from within Publist. And so that's sort of what we're doing. And then I don't know if anyone has any questions on that, but I can move into sort of the topic of the talk. And the next
yeah, that'd be awesome. This is super exciting, guys.
So so for apps, this for us is the really big vision with Publist. This is what we're really most excited about building and really looking forward to getting to build. So basically the way we look at it is for example, I use Google Drive pretty much only because, over Dropbox, only because Google Drive has docs, sheets, and slides. Otherwise, they are not as good of a cloud storage as Dropbox. They're not as good of a cloud storage as pCloud. But the reason that I use them is because they have this central work suite where I can do work that I need to get done. And so that allows me to look at this from the Publist perspective, which is we'd like to very much have the same kind of apps within Publist and have the ability to edit lots of different files within Publist. So right now you can store a lot of things, you can organize data from your applications, and data can move sort of freely through Publist. But it's harder to edit a lot of things, and it's harder to produce data right within Publist and produce work right within Publist. So once we've done a really good job centralizing all your work data, the next thing we want to do is actually centralize the work you do and make it easier to work from one place, much like Google Drive does if you need to create doc sheets or slides. But we want to take that a step further because that's a 10, almost 15-year-old product. And while they've kept it updated, they haven't really innovated on the core. And as many of you are probably familiar, we see so many different products today that are coming out, like Airtable and Notion and many other great apps that are really taking the ideas behind Google Drive and Google Docs further and making them that much better and that much more collaborative. So our focus in 5 to 6 months and through the next 12 months is going to be building our app suite and opening it up to third-party developers. So starting with our app suite, that's going to include 4 different applications and also a few other tools. The major apps are our Pages app, which is going to be able to take lots of different text files from around the web and open them and edit them, and then write them back to the same text file. So we got some great questions on this when we talked about it a little bit in the group yesterday about how this would work. And so if you open a Google Doc and publish Pages, you'll be able to edit it in the consistent sort of editor, in the same editor you would use for Word or Evernote. But it'll be saving those edits to the Google Doc at the end of the day. It'll work in the native format. And so you can work within your different cloud silos and work within your different applications with consistent editing tools. Same thing with Sheets, where we want to take a lot of inspiration from Airtable and do something really, really interesting with our Spreadsheets app.
Mm-hmm.
So this will allow you to manage tabular data from a lot of different sources. Present, same thing, take a lot of slides. We want to be really innovative in the way we do this and take sort of the 2019 approach to building these apps. And then finally, Publisher, which will let you publish content like newsletters, publish blogs, publish pages to the internet, make other content in your Publist account available over the internet. And this might be, we've talked a lot about video embedding recently and sort of Wistia-like features. And this application would include a lot of those. Though those features we would build well before we built this application, but this would sort of be the final version of that. It would roll all this up into one to allow you to publish any content you have in Publist. And then finally, a few little useful tools that will probably be a list that we're expanding. Things like a password vault, which will be useful with our Chrome extension, code editors, encryption tools, a web clipper, and lots of other things. So that's sort of the heart of our app suite.
And before we move on there, I really want to emphasize just how powerful that sync feature is. So like when you're using Google Drive, with Google Drive, you have to create a Google Doc and then actually just work out of the Google Doc. And to collaborate with somebody, you have to share that Google Doc with them and do all of your work there. And that's not exactly what we're trying to achieve here. So because we've already brought all of your documents into one place, we want to help you collaborate and work on all of them out of these apps. So let's say you have a client that's working in an Excel spreadsheet. You can work on the published sheet and it'll be reflected in your client's original Excel sheet. And you can do that with any document that a client could ever share with you. Same with your teammates, no matter what apps they're using.
So very much like Publist is able to sort of connect all your apps and understand all your apps, we want to understand the data in them too and make it really easy to work with it. So that makes a great point.
All right, that's amazing.
So I guess the next piece that will really be coming after this is we want to create an iOS-like app store, albeit not quite iOS, but the Apple App Store I think is a great example for what we want to do. because we'd like to, with the same app suite that we use to build these apps, these will be a proof of concept for our third-party app store. And this will allow third-party developers, any developers, to write applications within Publist. And I'll just open a Publist window to show it. Like, for example, this PDF viewer is a really lightweight application. Another good example would be, let's just go to, here's our notes editor. So this is also a really lightweight application, and will be replaced with the Pages editor, but is still a relatively rich text editor. And all of these things, everything that runs in this window is actually running as a small, very lightweight application. And so how
did you make it that fast? I mean, like, I cannot achieve the speed even with Google technologies. Like, this is super fast.
Definitely, it helps with our apps framework. So the way that things were written, it lets us sort of load this tiny little, apps are a lot smaller than they are even on Google, or on particularly like iOS, and desktop apps don't even get me started. But these apps are really, really small, but can offer a lot of functionality, because that's the beauty of the web in 2019. The web is incredibly powerful, and our browsers have, as I've mentioned, become the central place that we do all our work, which is good and bad, because our browsers are not great at keeping our information organized. They're great at keeping our tabs together, but that's about it. And that's actually a webinar that we'll be touching on next week. And so the ability to sort of look at data and open data within Publist is something that we want to take a lot further. And so, if you didn't, for example, this image, let's say I've got this picture here, and it just opens in our simple image viewer that lets you take a look at it. But imagine if you could say, I'd like to open this in the Publist image editor, and it would give you the ability to annotate and add some, and recolor and have other sort of image editing actions that you could take from a toolbar. And so the app could be that much richer. So there's kind of that flexibility is what we want to give to third-party developers to say, what can we do with all this data? What are the really interesting things in this framework? And I think that the sky's kind of the limit, because you never know what people are going to make when you give them the tools to create new things.
No, I love it. I mean, you can literally give access to your platform to other developers, and they will be creating all the useful tools for themselves or for other users. I mean, this can be really, really big. And how do you actually prioritize all the features you want to start building? Because I know that, for example, photo editing won't be that necessary as, for example, Pages, right?
Right. So obviously, there is logic to it, and we've got this right now. Actually, if everybody wants a live view of Publist being built, this is our engineering board. So this is everything that we're working on. Active is everything that I am currently working on. And it's a lot.
So this is the place where all the suggestions end up from PitchGround.
Exactly.
Pretty much. Exactly. So there, all the suggestions are tracked down here, and I'm going to sort of label them and apply a timestamp so I know exactly how long they'll take. And so, yeah, this is a sneak peek for the webinar insiders about how we're doing this. But apps are, we've got a column for apps that we're keeping track of, and obviously there is logic to it. Like, we need to build our app suite to provide the core functionality that's sort of crucial for people before we go into the third-party apps and let people go wild and build whatever they want. So things like an image editor would definitely come after this, but would be something that Publist we might build internally, because it's still that, it's a powerful tool.
All right, it's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, great question. I think we got one question.
I would rather answer all the questions in the end.
Absolutely. So I guess then the last piece here is just to say that we've got we've got all our data locked up in Publist, and then finally we'll be adding things like data visualization as well as sort of data storage tools. So while right now you can store your files and connect all your apps really easily, we want to make it simpler to store other data, like customer data from analytics, things that you might keep in tables and might produce graphs from. So this might be, you know, checkouts. This could be the number of users per day. This could be tabular data like that. We want to make it really easy to store all kinds of data because, as I mentioned earlier, and as I've been saying, we want to centralize data in a way that we've never seen before. So it should take exactly what we can do on our desktops and be able to centralize every data, have an application to open and edit all of it, but in the cloud. And we can keep all the advantages of the cloud and we can keep all the advantages of the desktop and work really, really efficiently.
Before we'll continue, we have a lot of people who are joining right now. So I will just quickly repeat what we are discussing today. We are discussing all the apps which will be available in upcoming months in Publist, which helps you to work on everything from one single app. And if you have any question, just feel free to ask. Guys, what is the time frame on all these features you are building?
So I guess I'll go back to the board. So for those just joining, this is the active Publist engineering board. This is everything that is being worked on right now. And so the time frame for this is, you know, as soon as possible, but I think realistically within 5 to 6 months. There's certainly a ton that we need to do to really make a great experience for just organizing all your work. And so the file system and the storage piece that Publist is, that we want to make sure we've absolutely nailed before we move on to making it easy to edit and organize the data. So that will be, you know, there's certainly a lot that we want to build there, and we've got embedding and we've got sharing and we've got a lot of things upcoming. And then beyond that, I'm certain that there will be other features that we will want to build before apps, because apps is a big project for us. But within, I'd say, I'd like to be building this as soon as possible, but realistically, it'll be 6 months out that we get our sort of, you know, our first app suite ready to go.
And what we are looking at right now, Pages, Sheets, Present, and Publisher. These are the first apps you will be actually developing.
Exactly.
Okay. I know that we discussed once we were of the webinar that you want to build something similar to Trello.
Yeah, so we definitely, I love Trello, as you can see, heavy Trello user. But we definitely want to have that be probably a smaller part of our app suite, because it's you know, surprisingly, or maybe unsurprisingly, these apps are a lot more complicated to build than a Trello board. But having a Trello-like board to organize data would be really cool. And then we'd also like to add other sort of project management or task management or time management tools. But I think that a Kanban board, which is the sort of core of Trello, is a really, really useful tool for organizing information, period. And so that's also something that we'd probably include in this app suite, although it would be more of a tool and less of a full-blown app. Just because a Kanban board is, you know, it's a straightforward, not particularly complex thing.
That's exciting, guys. I'm so glad that we are in together. Now, what is quite important to say, and what we hear quite often from our audience, will I get access to all these features in the future, like after I will buy the lifetime deal?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And that's, I guess that's why we're really excited about this. And is that, yes, everybody who buys a lifetime deal will get lifetime access to everything that Publist makes. And so that'll be this app suite. That will be these tools, and that'll be tools that we continue to build and apps that we continue to build as a company. The one thing to note is with the third-party app store, that we're not sure on, but I suspect that third-party developers, we would have to, out of respect for them, not provide lifetime access. But for everything that Publist makes, our internal app suite, all our tools, that everybody will get access to forever.
And on that note, you know, I've been getting tons and tons of questions about like why we chose to charge per storage. And it really ties into all of these apps that we're building, and like also the fact that we just created this new pricing tier. Storage, you know, it's how we have to charge because, you know, that's just how it makes sense to create the tiers, but it's really not what you're buying with Publist. For us, storage is a feature But these apps and having one collaborative workspace to deal with all of your data and all of your files is really what we want to sell. And you're going to get every single feature that we build moving forward. And that's also why we just added this new $49 pricing tier. If you're not looking for storage and you're just looking for a place to, interact with all of these apps and whatnot, we want to make that possible as well. We want to be able to, give you all of the functionality without, having to buy a pricier storage plan.
Yep. Yeah,
I like to think what you just mentioned, that this AppSuite is just one of the many things on your roadmap, and of course, people will get access to pretty much most of the things on your roadmap. So, do you think you could show us your current roadmap?
Yeah, absolutely. Oops, hang on. The Zoom bar got in my way, so I'm just going to tab. Yeah, so here's our roadmap. And to Ben's point, for us, we have to sell storage now because, as you mentioned, it's what makes sense. But like long term, we plan to make money as a company selling apps. We want to be an app,
and they're going to be much more expensive.
Yes, and because storage is not a game that we want to play for a long time, because storage only gets cheaper, and our storage will only get cheaper. And so we want to make sure that apps are where we're really focused. And so that's why we're going to align as a company around apps and plan to make most of our money from apps to support the company, because that's going to be really where we can bring a lot of value.
All right.
So for the roadmap, I guess we can run through it if that's easy.
Yeah.
So lots of things coming up in the short term. Unfortunately, this roadmap is a little bit out of order. We're actually going based on requests. So we've gotten tons and tons of requests. I think close to 100 requests for a few features. And particularly those are virtual folders, as well as two-way flow. So the ability to save documents into your different connected apps. So I could just go to Publist and I would be able to drag this image into one of these and have it saved there pretty quickly. And so that's another big one. And then we'll also come out with encrypted storage. We will add tons of new integrations. And certainly there's a lot of small features that will probably go unmentioned, but will be built. And we're trying to be as fast as we can about fixing things and making sure that everything is easy to use. So following that, after, we've got a huge coming soon list. I guess I can go and just share that. So we'll go to, hang on. So actually, this is a good note. So sometimes this has happened to people. This is an app actually failing to launch. So sometimes apps do not always launch perfectly. And we'll see that reloading the page just fixes that right away. That's something that I'm working on and hope to have a fix for by, tomorrow, something like that. So we've got a really large coming soon list, and we hope to get integrations with all these apps in the next few months. So this will be coming out in tandem with the features that we're building. So back to our roadmap. So lots of new integrations to make sure we cover all your files, file retention, file versioning, and the trash feature. So this will make things really easy to not worry about losing files, not worrying about overwriting files. Advanced sorting, so you'll be able to sort on lots of different parts of the file type, the file size, users who are associated with it, dates, and other fields. Search, and in particular, we've gotten a ton of requests for full text search. So that's something that we want to work on soon. So you can search the contents of your Google Docs. You can search the contents of your PDFs. You can search the contents of documents you have stored on Publist, and not just search through titles and other pieces of metadata. File embedding. So this has been a huge request we've received, has been the ability to stream video from Publist. And so that's something that I started to plan out and started to take a look at exactly how we'll build it, and is a feature that we want to build in the next few weeks. So that's a priority feature given how much interest we've received for that. White labeling, this is another big one that we've seen a lot of requests for. I don't have a great plan in place for exactly how white labeling will work, but certainly it will probably feel like a lot of white labeling situations, but obviously be able to put up your own logos and be able to replace a lot of the branding. As well as having the ability to customize other parts of the platform. But one good thing to note is that white labeling will be available to all plans, but there is an additional sort of cost associated with it because it's expensive for us to do. So following that, we'll have a desktop app. We'd like to expand our offering of storage backends. So this will be just like you can go and, sorry, that Zoom bar really gets in my way. There we go. Let me just click around it.
You can move it around actually.
Oh, I see. Oh, no kidding. Okay. So this is our current storage selection. So we've got Amazon S3 and Publist storage. But for the additional storage backend feature on the roadmap, this is what we will be seeing coming. So some of these, for example, collections, this is actually virtual folders, as some of you may know it. So collections is very much on its way, and we hope to have it done by mid this week. So that'll be, virtual folders will be a big feature, and that'll let you organize files without using storage. So Publist Drive, you store the files. In collections, you can create collections of files without needing to store them at all. And they will just point back to the original file in your app. Encrypted Drives, that's another big one that I'm excited about building. So this is the ability to have sort of zero knowledge encryption, client-side encryption for your data. And so information will be sent up and completely secured with your own passphrase and your own keys that we will have absolutely no ability to access, nor will anybody else. And then, so that's bring your own storage backends, save, share documents to any connected app. So that's two-way flow. So this is actually up higher in the roadmap. We prioritize that feature. Drive sharing and member permissions, same thing, definitely a priority feature. A lot of people have been requesting the ability to add people to their drives. So we're actually using the exact same permission style that Trello boards do. So there's a visibility. So you can say, I want this to be team visible, so you can make things visible to your workspace. And then separately, there's a members sort of invitation system. And so we'll do both of those. So you'll be able to invite members so you can kind of have a whitelist for who can access. And then you'll be able to set the visibility. So if you just wanted if you want it to be available to the whole team and have a team shared drive within Publist, then you can do that. Or you can just share with a small collection. So that's a very high priority feature for us. And we expect that. So pretty soon, we're trying to get these features out as quickly as possible. Sharing links portal to manage everything you're sharing, a Chrome extension to manage web clipping. Passwords will be integrated in that when we build a passwords app, although that's a little ways away. But this will make it really simple to build a download manager to manage everything you download from the web with Publist and sync it up if you want it. This is, again, one of those features that's been really highly requested is both the ability to embed and improvements to our media player. So that's something we want to do both for music and videos, supporting playlists, supporting great player interface, and pretty much everything in between. And then our Publist mobile app, we plan to have out before July 2020. And so I've actually built I built 2 mobile apps now, so this won't be too new to me. But it's no small task. So we'll be launching an iOS and Android app to make it really easy to access everything on Publist on the go. And then finally, we get into our AppSuite and the big, really exciting thing that we cannot wait to work on, which is releasing our first Google Docs competitor, Google Docs replacement, our collaborative work app suite. And then finally, following that, we'll open it up to allow third-party developers to create and publish their own apps on Publist. And that's our roadmap.
Guys, this is so exciting. I'm so glad that you are working so hard on things like this. And before we will jump into the Q&A, we have quite a lot of questions. I have an amazing announcement. So let me share my screen really quickly. Because I just talked to Udit about the 1 terabyte bonus, which already should have ended literally 2 minutes ago, but we made an exception and we actually extended the bonus for 1 hour. So if you want to take advantage of the 1 terabyte bonus, you need to take action in 1 hour from this announcement. Now, this terabyte bonus will come with this plan, which is 2 terabytes, and with 4 terabyte plan, and with the 6 terabytes plan. Now, after 1 hour, it won't be available, and it's not included in $49 plan. But if you will buy one of these, you will still get this 1 terabyte bonus. So guys, if people will buy, what will actually happen? You need to manually edit there, right?
Yes. So just reach out to either Ben or I. My email is will@publist.app. We're always on Facebook. We're always in the groups. So just reach out to us and we will give you your 1 terabyte bonus code.
Yeah. So there's still 56 minutes left. So if you want to take advantage of this, just go to pitchground.com/products/Publist with capital P, and you can buy it. Now, I want to tell you a little bit more about this. So this is a Publist add-on pack, which for $50 you can buy and stack more accounts per integration. So what does it mean? Let's take this for example. So if you pay $49, you get 2 accounts per app. So you have, let's say, 2 Gmail accounts. Now this will be okay for you, but if you will like to add 1 extra Gmail account, this plan isn't enough. But you can buy this, and it will give you this extra 5 account integrations per app, which is pretty amazing. So make sure that you will still check pitchground.com/products/Publist with capital P and take advantage of this bonus and of this amazing lifetime deal while it still lasts. So guys, thanks a lot. This was amazing. And right now, I think we can jump into the Q&A. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I think you can start sharing your screen again, because I think yours is a little bit more informative, like in terms of the, just go to Publist, because we have some specific questions.
Yeah.
And one of the question is, can I use Publist to host and stream my videos on my membership platform? Are the videos protected with advanced HLS encryption like Wistia does it? Thanks.
So great question. And the video embedding, that's a feature that's coming. So I would plan to keep the feature set similar to Wistia. It's not something that is coming immediately, but we'll be trying to get it done in the next month or so. Although that is certainly a really big feature for us to build. But yes, we do want to make it possible to embed and stream videos that you have stored on Publist. It should be really easy to do that. And so, and make sure that they're protected and a customizable player. And as much as we can do to make it sort of a great embedding experience for your video, audio, any other media, as well as files like PDFs or spreadsheets or presentations.
That's exciting. So literally, I will have my video stored on Publist, and I can just embed it into my site, and it will work.
Exactly. It's 2019. That's exactly how it should work. We should not have to, have our files sort of in a lot of different places to be able to do something as simple as that.
All right. Another question. Currently, everything is only web-based. Some estimated time for desktop app?
So our desktop app, as you see on the roadmap, is a little, it's got a few features in front of it, but we'd like to try to get the desktop out within a month. And so that will include virtual files, which will let you have and view files within Publist without using storage on your desktop. That will include folder syncing, and that will include the ability to sort of seamlessly drag files from the desktop app onto your desktop, as well as files into the desktop app, to make it really simple and sort of always available to move your files in and out of Publist.
All right.
That's something we want to get done soon.
A question from Rohit. Is this similar to pCloud in terms how you will use it?
Yes and no. So good question, and certainly one we get a lot. So yes, Publist does have a cloud storage piece, so I can go and I can store my files, and if I click upload, I can go and actually just upload some files. So why don't we do that? We'll just upload a nice little image. And so you'll see that that'll just go, and we've got that uploaded. So I can take files from my desktop. I can store things here just like pCloud allows me to do. And there's our image. And but what we do in addition to that is we make all the files from all your apps available as well. So actually here's a pCloud account. And so I can see that I've got everything I have in my pCloud, and this is our sort of test and dev account, so I don't have a whole lot in here. But all the files in there are immediately available to me. And so if I want to, I can go and let's take this song and just drag it to one of my drives. And it'll now actually go and add that song directly from pCloud to one of my storages. So it makes all your files sort of immediately available. And then here we can just open it in the media player, and there we go. So it's my sort of favorite song on pCloud of the wonderful set of songs they give you. But that's really what Publist is about. It's about taking all your files and putting them in one place. And so all the apps that you use, whether it's Slack or Gmail or any other sort of service, you get all these different files are made immediately available and centrally available in Publist, and then you can store things just like pCloud as well.
Mm-hmm. Guys, this is super exciting. Let's continue with the question. Thanks a lot for amazing answers you're giving us. Question from Gaurab. Can integration with uCloud, Zools in brackets, BigMind, and iDrive be evaluated?
Yes, I'm not familiar with those services, but I can definitely take a look. So it was Zools, iDrive, and uDrive?
uCloud.
uCloud, okay. uCloud.
Yeah. You can check all the names under the live video on our Facebook page after we end this.
Yes, I will take a look at that, and if as I've mentioned, if they get added to our coming soon page, you will know that it's possible to do, and so those will appear here if it's possible to integrate with them.
All right, amazing. We have 4 more questions. Not everything is about the product, but maybe more about your team and about your plans and marketing and so on. And I think this will be quite interesting to discuss as well, because we are mostly talking about the product. But let's talk about this question. We have a question which starts with big plans. I love it. How are you guys looking resource-wise for achieving this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we definitely need help. As I've shown, we've got quite a full workload to get all this done, and so we're planning to hire some help and get other developers on board, because look how much we've accomplished with just one developer. Imagine what we can do when I can work with other people, and so that will be a big thing for us. We're a company based in San Francisco, and we are venture capital funded. So we do have some resources available to continue this work, but we're planning to get a little bit more money in. And obviously this deal is giving us lots of resources to continue working on everything that we want to build. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how we're approaching it, but we definitely need help. And in the next few weeks, even, we'd like to get a few more engineers on board to work with us.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be hiring some more people on the marketing and customer support side as well, because we're getting tons of feedback from you guys, and we're mm-hmm. definitely people to help sort through it all.
And please don't stop emailing us. Please don't stop reaching out to us in the groups. We really love all the feedback. We love to talk to you guys. Yeah. And we try to get back to you as quickly as we can.
And you are doing a great job. All right. This question is quite similar, but the question is, taking on any seed capital outside of the pre-launch LTD?
Yes, we are planning to, in the next few months, have raised a sort of seed round. And that'll let us really hire a few more engineers. Because certainly engineers in San Francisco to help us out, it won't be cheap. But it'll be worth it, because the amount of features that we can ship then will be awesome, and you guys will love it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Another question from Michael. Maybe I have a wrong understanding, but how can I make my entire connected G drive searchable? Currently, I only manage to import files.
Okay, so that's a great question, and it gives me a chance to answer something we get a lot. So we've gotten this question a ton of times. And so hopefully I can be helpful in answering here, but I think what we'll do is we'll add an FAQ page to our website to make sure we cover some of these questions that we're seeing a lot. But Google Drive is the black sheep of our integration. So as you saw, every other integration, from OneDrive to Gmail and beyond will actually let you sort of have a full sync and all your files become immediately available. A lot of people see Google Drive and you have to go and link your files Hopefully you can see this sort of window here.
Yep.
And this is the way that Google Drive requires you to sort of pull your files in. And the reason that Google Drive is different from all the other apps is because this is what Google has allowed us access to. So we're actually working with Google to try to get increased access, but this window through the Google File Picker is all they've given us the ability to use so far. And what Google wants to get full sync access so that we can just pull all your files as we do in all our other apps is $75,000, which we don't have right now. And so unfortunately, this is kind of the best we can do given what Google's allowing us access to. And so it's, they have security policies and it's probably for good reason, but obviously it's a little bit frustrating that we have to go and link our files. But you can select multiple files, which is nice. And so you can select a lot of different stuff in your Google Drive, and then you can just click select, and those files will import. So we see that it just imported those files.
Yeah, and then once it comes out, we'll have another workaround for that as well. So as a lot of you probably know, with Google Drive, you can sync your files to a folder on your desktop. And very soon you'll be able to do that and then sync that folder to Publist as well, and that'll make those files searchable. So you'll basically have to wait for us either to get full permission from Google, or once our desktop app comes out, that'll all be available to you.
Yeah. So the Google is quite restrictive, but in the end, it's not the question if, but it's a question of when. So it will be available, like after you will pay the $75,000. So
Exactly. We want to make that as available as soon as possible because I know that obviously a lot of people want it.
Oh yeah.
Tons of questions about that. So I'm so sorry that it can't be better now. But at least you can get those critical files in so you can organize them with other files from other apps.
Okay. Another question from Somia. In Gmail, files from how many months will be shown? In Gmail attachments, can we have ability to search using dates?
Yes, so our advanced search feature that's on our roadmap will give you the ability to filter by a lot more things than just file title. And so that'll give you file type and dates and lots of other fields to sort of sort and search and find files. But to the first part of your question, we do 6 months of data right now. Okay. We're actually planning, so one thing that we've noticed that I want to call out is that we're actually experiencing some server performance stuff right now. We were not expecting so many people to love Publist as much as they did. And so we're actually sort of reaching our server capacity. And I've hired someone who will come in tomorrow to work on making sure that our servers are all running as quickly as possible and making sure that everyone's apps get scraped. But the reason that they're at capacity is because everybody has a lot of data. And obviously we're pulling a lot of data from a lot of different apps to make this available to you. Now, granted, we don't save all the files unless you explicitly move them to your Publist drives. But it's still, nonetheless, to find this data, it takes a lot of work for our servers. And so we'll be upgrading Gmail to actually work more like an email client. So your Gmail attachments will be scanned in live in real time. And you will be able to get the entire history, and we'll be able to go back a lot further than 6 months.
Oh, this is amazing.
So yeah, so that should make working with your Gmail attachments a lot easier, but it'll also actually make it easier on our system because Gmail, everybody has a ton of attachments and a lot of stuff in Gmail. This is just the last 6 months of my attachments. I get multiple a day. And so that will really help our servers, but I just wanted to call out that we're working on making sure that everything runs super fast. And so by tomorrow, you should start to notice improvement.
All right. And we have another question. Is there any limitations on the bandwidth with streaming videos on my membership?
So great question. Also one we've gotten a lot. My answer is that we don't yet know what our costs are going to be for bandwidth, and we don't understand what we're going to be able to afford. But we were talking about it a little bit yesterday with a few people in the groups, and we threw out the numbers we were thinking, and people said, no, that's too low. So we certainly want to look above 1 terabyte. But I definitely think it could be higher. And obviously, if we think about it just from a sort of the math behind it, if you have a 1 gigabyte video or maybe a 2 gigabyte video, say, and you have a terabyte of bandwidth, then that video can be streamed about 500 times. So that's not great. So we want to try to balance what we can possibly afford with exactly what, allowing you guys to stream as many videos as possible when we add our video streaming feature.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any paying customers outside of PitchGround yet?
Yes. Yeah. So we do have some people on our monthly plans, although they are not getting as good a deal as you all are.
All right. A few more questions. It will be slowly time to wrap it up, so you guys will still get a chance to take advantage of the bonus, which is still going on. So last 3 questions. When we clear cookies on the desktop, for some apps we got the login again. Would it make any impact on Publist?
When you clear, yes. So we do use cookies to keep you authenticated. So obviously we store a little bit of data in cookies so that we know who you are. So when you clear cookies, yes, it will log you out of Publist, but it will not disconnect your apps. So it won't affect anything within Publist. You'll just have to sign into Publist again.
All right. Question from Somia. When we change password of apps, Gmail, etc., how do we manage on Publist?
So luckily, the way that we connect with these apps, as we've talked about in past webinars, is we go to the apps and request permission, and they actually give us a special key. And this allows us to, get exactly what we've requested permission to get, which is usually, a little bit of metadata on files. And so we always try to request the least amount of information possible. But apps give us a special key that is separate from your password and doesn't give us any access to any of your private information, but does allow us to connect to those apps even if you change your password.
All right, and let's do 2 last questions. And it's does it even do websites through FTP and database on brackets MySQL backups?
So we don't have a MySQL integration yet. I wouldn't mind getting a SQL integration if we get a lot of requests for it, because I personally would love to have something like that. Websites, I'm guessing, so I think that our SFTP integration can support that. So you could have access to the files on a remote server. Hopefully that's useful to you, and hopefully that answers your question.
All right, and the last question, which is more about the deal. So let me quickly share my screen again. So the question is from Andrew. Will the stackable add-on pack be available after the LTD ends? How long you anticipate the current LTD offer to run?
So I think that the LTD is going to run for a really long time. I don't know exactly how long, but I suspect it won't be going away in the next few weeks. The stackable add-on pack, that is part of the LTD, so it will not stick around. And so, yeah, thank you for asking that.
All right, guys, I think it's finally time to slowly wrap it up. But before we will do, I want to remind that this 1 terabyte bonus is ending in 39 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, what does it mean? It means that if you will buy any plan from 2 terabytes to 6 terabytes in the next 39 minutes, you will get 1 terabyte bonus. Now, after you buy it, you just send an email or message on Facebook to Will or Ben, and they will add it manually to your account. So go to pitchground.com/product/Publist with capital P. The link should be in the description, and take advantage of this bonus right away. Now, if you don't need this 2 terabyte plan or more, you can still buy this $49 plan, which will give you 500 gigabytes of storage, access to all the integrations and many other things, and 2 accounts per app. And if you will need more accounts per app, you can just simply buy this add-on pack, which will give you more account integrations per app. So it's pretty amazing. So guys, once again, pitchground.com/products/Publist with capital P, and take advantage of this amazing deal right now. All right.
Hey, the last thing, before we go, last thing I want to call out is we really want to make sure that everything is being fixed and Publist is running super well for you. So we'd like to offer anybody who reports any issues, we'd like to offer 20 extra gigabytes. So for every bug that you bring us that we're not aware of, we'd be happy to give you, just reach out to me via email, will@publist.app, or reach out to us on Facebook, or really any way you want. And just let us know if you're having an issue, and we'd like to give you 20 gigabytes for doing so. So please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any problems.
Guys, this is amazing. So literally, if you will find something which could be actually better, or some bug, just reach out to these guys and they will give you 20 gigabytes of storage completely for free. It's amazing. Thanks a lot for creating this incentive, guys. I love it.
Absolutely.
All right. So thanks a lot, everybody, for joining. This was amazing live. Thanks a lot, guys, for the preparation. Thanks a lot, everybody, for questions. And we will see you on Monday, which is actually tomorrow, on the next webinar. So make sure you will join us live again on Facebook, on Zoom, or in a PitchGround Facebook group. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, guys.
Awesome. Talk to y'all soon.